Hey you guys, it's Amélie. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today I am filming a book haul because it has been a few months since I've last filmed one. Also, I have accumulated like so many books in the past couple of months. Like I have about 30 books to present to you guys today. So yeah, there are a lot. And I just figured that it was about time that I filmed a book haul because I cannot keep accumulating books. Otherwise, my book haul would be like 3 hours long, and we don't want that to happen. Before we talk about books, I just want to say that I won't be spending too much time talking about each of the books that I'm about to present because, like I just said, I have so many books to present to you guys and we don't want this video to be like super long. Also, I like diving into books not knowing what they're about, otherwise I set expectations and I always end up being like let down or something. However, I have read some of the books that I'm about to present today because it's been a few months and of course I've read them already. So now, without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So the first books that I wanted to present are actually part of a series, so I will be presenting them as one, and they are the Shatter Me series by Tara Mafi. So we have Shatter Me, Unravel Me, and Ignite Me. I talked about these in my last video, and I've done a readathon where I read these books for 24 hours and gave a series review. But overall, I really like the series. However, I just don't feel like it's one of my favorites. I understand why people love it so much. There are great characters in there, but it's not really action-packed, and for a dystopian series, that's something that I felt was really lacking. There was no plot whatsoever, but still like the character developments. The next book that I bought is actually the one that I'm currently reading, and that is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kerry Maniscalco. It is set in a Victorian London, and it is featuring Awry, the main character, who is basically hunting down Jack the Ripper. There are these murders happening and she's trying to figure out who's doing this and why. I'm trying so hard to like this at the moment because I was in the mood for a spooky read because it's finally fall and I felt like this would fit the aesthetic, but for some reason I'm just not getting into it. But it is kind of spooky and atmospheric, so I like that. The next book that I bought is one that I've already read before, but I wanted to reread the series so I can finally finish it, and that is Legend by Mary Lou. So like I said before, I've already read the series, well, not the series, the first book, Legend, a few years ago. Like it might be 2 years, maybe more, I don't remember exactly. But I read the translated version and I did remember enjoying the first installment and being like, oh, I want to continue the series. But for some reason I never got around to it, and I know Mary Lou is a really popular author and I wanted to give her a fair shot and finish this series because I liked the first one, and I figured that since I liked the first one, I'm probably gonna like the rest. I don't remember much of what it's actually about, but I remember really loving the main character, June, I think her name is. But yeah, I really want to get back into this series. I know it's a lot of people's favorite and I want to give it a fair shot. So I guess I'll be reading this and buying the rest of the series eventually. The next book is actually a contemporary, and one that I haven't seen so much on BookTube and social media, but I have seen it a lot when it came out because the cover is so pretty and I just really wanted to read it, and that is The Way You Make Me Feel by Maringu. I saw Alexandra over at Twirling Pages. She recommended this book because she absolutely loved it, and Alexandra and I tend to have similar reading tastes, so I thought I would like this, and it sounds super cute and fluffy. Next we have a book that's really OJ BookTube or Instagram, like, you know, OJYA dystopian stuff when it first came out, like 2015 kind of stuff. And that book is Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. I got this book for like $8 and I was like, you know what, I want to read it, so I'm just gonna buy it, and there we are. I remember this book was talked about so much when it first came out. I thought the cover looked so cute, the story sounded so much fun. I know there's like time traveling in there. I don't know much about it, like I said, but I've heard great things and I am looking forward to it. So this summer, because of the movie adaptation that came out, this book has been all over the place, and like there's a new installment in the series that came out as well, and like everyone's been talking about it, but I never read the series. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try it because everyone says it's good, so it must be. And like I said, I decided to buy the first book and see for myself if I would like it, and that book is The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. So this is my second Alexandra Bracken book that I bought and haven't read. But this is another like OJ book that everyone talks about, but I haven't read. This sounds exactly like the type of book that I would have enjoyed as a like high schooler, teenager, like a couple of years ago, I'm sure I would have loved this. Hopefully I will still like it now. Next we have one of my most anticipated releases of 2018. I've absolutely loved the first book in 2017 when I first read it, and I was like, I am buying it. I'm so excited for this, and I finally have it and I'm so happy about it. And that book is Legendary by Stephanie Garber. This book is, like I said, the sequel to Caraval, and it follows Scarlett's sister, and I am so excited to see where this goes. Apparently we're even getting a third book, but I have high hopes for Legendary. Also, I really like the way this comes off on camera. Like, it's so shiny and pretty, and I just love it. The next book that I bought is also something that's been super hyped on both BookTube and Instagram and just everywhere, and that book is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I've heard nothing but fantastic things about this book. It is a fantasy novel and it is a debut as well, but it has received so much praise already, and I'm just like kind of scared to dive into it, if I'm being completely honest. I feel like my expectations for this are super high. The next book that I got over the past couple of weeks is a book that you've seen me mention on my channel before, and that book is The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie. I actually did an entire reading vlog on this book, and if you watched that, you know that this book is probably one of my favorite of 2018. I just loved it so much. It is absolutely incredible. Basically, we're following Monty, the main character, the guy on the cover, sort of, as he goes on a European tour with his best friend Percy, who he is also in love with, and his sister Felicity, and things don't go the way that they had planned. This book was so unexpected. Like, I started the book thinking that we would just be seeing them like going around Europe, and while we do get that, it's also like so different from what I had expected, and it's just so good. If you like books with quests and adventures that are like funny and witty, I would highly recommend this. It is historical fiction. It is set in the 1700s, I think. Also, it features diverse people, and just overall, I just really love this book. It's so funny. The main character is so witty, and like the narration is hilarious, and I loved it. I love this a lot, and I am so excited for the sequel, well, the companion novel. And yeah, I would highly recommend you check that one out if you haven't already. The other book is also one that is super hyped and that everyone's been talking about and like loving, and I had to see for myself what it was all about, and that book is Stranger Dreamer by Laini Taylor. A friend of mine actually recommended this book to me, and I'll be honest with you guys, I read this and I didn't love it as much as everyone else does. I gave this book like a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Like, it wasn't bad by any means. It's just, I don't see what the hype is all about. I felt like there was no plot, and like the romance was so unnecessary. Like, the only thing that I liked about this book mostly is the writing and like the characters, and even then I didn't feel a special connection to the characters. I'm not even sure I want to pick up the sequel, so that tells you something. But like I said, I understand why people love it. It just wasn't for me. So the next book that I bought is one by my favorite author, and I was so excited to finally read this because I've heard so many great things about it, and that book is Renegades by Marissa Meyer. So I actually did an entire reading vlog for this book, so once again I will leave that linked if you haven't seen it yet. Marissa Meyer is one of my favorite authors. I absolutely loved the Lunar Chronicles. It's one of my absolute favorite series. So when I found out that she was coming out with like original work, meaning that it's not a retelling, I was like, I need to read this. I love her. I wanted to support her, so I decided to pick up Renegades. And I'll be honest with you guys, this book is not as good as the Lunar Chronicles. I was expecting to love this so much because it's about superheroes and supervillains, and like our main character Nova is going undercover. She's a supervillain and she goes undercover to spy on these superheroes. This was not what I was expecting. I was hoping to get like a lot of action scenes and like tension and just like a lot of spying around and just like, I don't know, I was expecting more, and this book didn't deliver. I think it was overly long. Like, this book is about 550 pages. Could have been cut down to like 350. However, the last page, the very last sentence is such a cliffhanger, and I really want to read the sequel now. The first one wasn't really what I was expecting, and I'm kind of disappointed, but I will still read the sequel because I want to know what happens. The next book is also one that I bought because of the hype. Are you starting to see a pattern here? I've heard so many great things about this book. It's a lot of people's favorite for 2017, and there's a sequel that just came out, and I was like, I'm gonna see what the hype is all about, and that book is Warcross by Mary Lou. Once again, this is a book that I didn't love as much as everyone else did. I don't know if it's because there's like too much hype around these books, but it just wasn't for me. But I will admit that while I did have trouble getting into the book at first, the second half was really enticing and made me want to read more. Like, I actually couldn't put this book down, and the ending was such a cliffhanger, and I was like, what? I need to read the sequel. But yeah, overall I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was good, but I feel like the characters were kind of bland. Like Emika, the main character, is supposed to be like super smart, but she's also supposed to be this great hacker, and we barely see her do any hacking. And the only like big hacking thing that she does is accidental. I don't understand how a great hacker could accidentally hack themselves into a big ass worldwide game. I don't get it. Like, if you're a great hacker, you do it on purpose, right? I'm still confused as to why that is possible, but this is what like made the book possible, because if Emika didn't hack herself into the initial game, there would be no plot whatsoever. So I'm like, I will accept this. I do not understand it, but I will accept it. But then the thing that pissed me off the most about this book is the world building, or the lack thereof. Because while the settings are really explained and everything, Warcross, the game, is not explained at all. And like, I've read the entire book, like it's 350 pages, or is it? Yeah, it's 350 pages. And like, I still don't understand what Warcross is. There's a lot of mentions of like Warcross and virtual reality, and like, I thought that was so cool, but like, explain the damn game. We have no information on this game. Like, there's one game that's being played live in the book, but I still don't understand what the purpose of this game is. And if you would ask me now, what is Warcross? I would be, I don't know. However, I really want to read the sequel because, like I said, it ends on such a cliffhanger, and I want to know what happens next, and I'm excited. The next book is one of my all-time favorites, but for some reason I didn't own a physical copy of this, and that book is Crest by Marissa Meyer. Like I said before, Marissa Meyer and her Lunar Chronicle series is my ultimate favorite, and I thought that it was about damn time that I finally got my hands on a copy. So Crest is a Rapunzel retelling, as you can probably tell by the cover, and I really like the way it looks. And it is the third book in the Lunar Chronicle series, so I don't want to explain it too much. But I remember Crest being one of my favorite books in the series. The next book is also one that I absolutely love this year, and that book is 9 Days and 9 Nights by Katie Cotugno. This is a sequel to 99 Days, also by Katie Cotugno. And as you guys might remember, I didn't love the first book. Like, I thought it was good, but I hated the main character, Molly, with all of my being. So when I found out that there was a sequel, I wasn't sure if I was going to buy it, but then I found out that it was set in Europe, and then I was like, I'm sold. So this one takes place, like I said, in Europe, and our main character Molly is on a European trip with her new college boyfriend. But I really like the sequel. Molly wasn't annoying as much as she was in the first one. Honestly, I thought that she'd grown a lot, and I could really connect with her. She's been through a lot, and it definitely shows in this book. It was a super emotional and cute read. I just really loved it, and I would recommend Katie Cotugno's work if you've never read any of it. This one is really great. You have to read the first one first to understand the old shenanigans, but it's so good. I highly recommend it. The next two books I've talked about on my channel, and I am absolutely in love with the series, and I'm so glad that I found this, because how could I live my life without these books before? And those are the Ember in the Ashes series by Sabata here. So we have An Ember in the Ashes and A Torch Against the Night. So like I said, I finally got around to reading this series this year, and oh my god, you guys, I absolutely fell in love with it. I didn't understand what the hype was about before, but now I finally do. I completely do, and I haven't read A Reaper at the Gates yet, but oh my god, you guys, I love these so much. The main characters, Laia and Elias, have my heart. I love them so much, and the plot, that's a great storyline. Like, damn, I love it. You know how I was talking about Shatter Me before, where I was like, there's no plot, but I love the characters? This one has all the plot and all the characters. If you have to pick one book out of everything that I've showed you today, pick these. They're so good. The next one is a new release that I really ended up loving, and that book is Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody. I think I've mentioned this one in a reading wrap-up, like my last one, so I will leave that link up on the screen. But I really like this. If you like Six of Crows and Caraval, I would highly recommend this. And this one is about Anne Salta, the main character, who is like a proper lady. She's been trained to be one, and she has to go find her mother, who has disappeared in the City of Sins, and then her world kind of falls apart. The next book is one that I'm really glad that I finally got around to reading, and that is They Will Die at the End by Adam Silveira. Adam Silveira and Becky Albertalli are coming up with a collaboration very soon, actually, like as I'm filming this video, it's like in 2 weeks, maybe 3, I'm not sure. But I've never read anything by Adam Silveira, but I know that What If It's Us is like one of my most anticipated releases of 2018. I wanted to read something of Adam Silveira's before I read What If It's Us, and that's why I picked They Both Die at the End. I did really enjoy it. I thought it was a very original and unique story. Basically, there's this death casting where on the day you die, like 24 hours before you die, you get a phone call warning you that you're gonna die within the next 24 hours. And our two main characters, Rufus and Matteo, meet up on this. They don't know each other, but they decide to sign up for this Last Friend app where you can meet someone the day before you die and just like enjoy your day with them, I guess. Just meet someone before you die so you don't have to die alone. And they both sign up through that, and they meet through this, and we lived this last day with them, and I thought it was a very unique story. It definitely made me want to read more of Adam Silveira's work. The next book is another contemporary because it was summer and I wanted contemporaries, and that book is Love, Life, and the List by Casey West. This was like my 4th novel by Casey West, I think, and the plot of this reminded me a lot of Since We've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. Basically, we have this main character who creates a list of things that she wants to go through during the summer so that she can improve her painting. She does these things with her best friend, who she also happens to be completely in love with. But this was a letdown. The cover is really cute and the spine is amazing, but I didn't really like this. I thought it was, well, I couldn't put it down for some reason, but I thought it was kind of boring and kind of snob. Like, the main character is really snob, and I hate it, but oh my god, do I hate the main love interest in this. I don't remember the last time I hated like a love interest as much as I did in Love, Life, and the List. So the next book that I bought is Fury Born by Clara Legrand. Just heard fantastic things about it. There's a sequel that's supposed to be coming out. We have a cover and a title. It sounds super fun, and apparently like it's very unique and different, so I'm very excited to see like what it's all about. I don't know much about it besides the fact that it follows like 2 timelines, and there's like a Blood Queen and a Sun Queen. One of them is supposed to destroy the world. I guess the other one is supposed to save it. It sounds fun. I'm excited. The next book is one that you've probably heard about a lot on other people's channel. It's been so hyped lately, especially because of the movie adaptation that came out, and that book is Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. I think I've talked about this before, but I'm one of the only people on the planet who didn't love Crazy Rich Asians. I just thought it was overly dramatic. There's way too many characters, a lot of them don't matter, and we get to read from their point of view. Just give me like the main characters, I don't care about the other ones. I really want to watch a movie adaptation, but overall the book just wasn't for me. So at the beginning of September, I was getting into a steamy romance mood. Like, I wanted to read cute, fluffy, but also really steamy romances. For some reason, I was craving that. So I ended up purchasing a bunch of new adult books. So the first new adult book that I bought is The Wedding Date by Jasmine. I don't know much about this one, but I've seen it on BookTube a little bit and on Goodreads. It's gotten great reviews so far. 2 strangers get stuck in an elevator, and the guy asks the girl to accompany him to his ex-girlfriend's wedding, I think, or something like that. And the girl doesn't know him, but for some reason she decides to accept. And from there, there's like the fake dating trope, and I guess they fall in love. I don't know, but I'm all here for the fake dating trope, and I'm just so excited to read that. The next one is a new release by one of the queens of new adult romance, I guess. And that book is Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. I don't remember much about the plot. I just know that it's like these 2 best friends, Josh and Hazel. I think they've known each other since college or something, and they're not really dating, but they invite other people to go on double dates with them. But I just know that like it's kind of a best friends to lovers trope, and as I said before, I love this trope and I'm all here for it. So I'm very excited. I've heard amazing things about this book so far and I really like the cover. The next book that I bought has received a lot of hype in the past couple of months. So you've probably heard about it and I decided to try it out for myself, and that book is The Kiss Quotient by Wang. So I don't know much about this book, but I know that the main character is Asian and she has Asperger's and she has never dated guys before and doesn't really have any experience when it comes to like sex and all that stuff, and she hires a male escort, also Asian, to teach her all and everything about romance, I guess. Apparently it's absolutely incredible. I know that there's a sequel to this coming out. Alright, so the next two books I've actually read before and I want to continue the series or I want to reread the series, so I decided to get copies for myself because I read these as ebooks. So the first one is Beautiful Bastard by Christina. Like I said, I read this before, maybe like 2 years ago, might be more. And the first time I read it, I actually gave it like a 3-star review. I thought it was okay, but like wasn't all that much amazing. But recently I saw a review on Goodreads and it was absolutely incredible and it made the book sound so good. And you guys know how much I love The Hating Game. I've mentioned that before, but The Hating Game is one of my all-time favorite books, and I don't know, I was craving an office romance that reminded me of The Hating Game, so that's why I picked up Beautiful Bastard. And the last book that I wanted to talk to you guys about today is one that, oh my god, I want to reread and I want to finish the series, because this book, well, this series in general is probably my favorite new adult book ever, besides The Hating Game. But like, I absolutely love it and I just wanted to finish the series, and that book is Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ricci. These books are absolutely incredible. If you haven't read them yet, I don't know what you're doing. If you love steamy romances and new adult books in general, like contemporaries, you're gonna love this. This is so good. Basically, we're following these two main characters, Lily and Lo, and they both have a problem with addiction. Lily is a sex addict, Lo is a drunk, and for years now, they have been best friends since like childhood. But for years now, they've pretended to be in a relationship just so they could hide their addiction to the rest of their families. I love these books so much. It deals with like really dark and heavy topics, which I think is really different and unique in new adult, because it's really rare that we see that talked about in books like these. But it's so good. I highly recommend it, and all of the series is amazing, and I'm really excited to finally dive back into these and finish them, because I remember absolutely loving them. So I cannot wait to dive back into these. So that's it for my book haul. Thank you guys so much for watching, for bearing with me. I had a lot of books to present, so next time I'm going to try not to wait so long until I film my book haul, because this is exhausting. Like, damn, I've been filming for like an hour now. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. And I guess that's it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. This is the aftermath of the book haul. Like, look at this. All the books. Whew.